Listen, you need to hear this because the reality is that most men get this backwards. Preparation always beats planning. And if you do not understand this, especially at an early age, right, in your early 20s or earlier on in life, life is going to keep blindsiding you. And yes, I've been doing this every day, every week, every single month, right? And since I've adapted this kind of, thing to my lifestyle, it's made my life more manageable, especially for a guy that's still in their 20s going through life, navigating life for the first time. The reality is that, when most guys think about a plan, right, it's a perfect plan, right? Everything is planned out perfectly. Perfect routines, right? Perfect goals, right? Perfect plan. Acting as if, everything in life is just going to line up neatly and everything's just going to fall in order automatically. But here's the problem though. Planning is based on the expectation of order. But guess what? Life is actually the opposite of order, right? How many times does everything actually fall into place as it's supposed to fall into place? Life is messy, right? There's a lot of surprises, there's a lot of, secrets. Life is unpredictable. That's the best way to put it. Life is chaotic, right? One day you're chilling, kicking back, watching TV. The next day, life just smacks the living hell out of you. And the reality is that, when things don't go as planned, when the plan doesn't go perfectly to how it was planned, most men fall apart. This is where most men break. One bad day and they quit, right? One setback and they completely lose momentum. One unexpected challenge along the way and they crumble like wet paper. You know why that is, right? Because they planned for no rain but all sunshine. Ultimately, they weren't prepared for the storm. On the other hand, though, this is why preparation is more important. Preparation, right, is a lot different because it's based on the expectation of chaos. People who are prepared are prepared for the worst, right? They assume that something bad is going to happen. They expect failures and they expect life at some point to hit them at full speed and for unexpected events to happen. And most people will say, oh, you're negative, but no, you have to have that in place something goes bad, because these people who are prepared, if you notice prepared people, they never ever cry. They just adapt, right? They pivot and they do the plan B. It's very simple, right? If you plan for order, chaos is going to destroy you. But if you plan or prepare for chaos, then you're going to win no matter what. So basically, this is the message, right? And this is what I've learned in my whole 20-something years of life. Stop planning for a perfect life and instead start preparing for a chaotic one. Build a discipline, right? Have some grit about you, right? Build some adaptability, the ability to, adapt in any single situation possible as best possible, right? Every situation is not going to be perfect, but you have to give yourself a chance. Build the mindset of a man that could be literally dropped anywhere in the woozai on a mountaintop and still be able to survive because he was already prepared for that situation. He already assumed that was going to happen. Because ultimately, when you plan for chaos, you stop being scared of everything and you actually are ready for anything that comes your way.